Okay, so we're gonna see how this works. I'm gonna show you guys how I do an eye. I was gonna make a time lapse, but I don't think I am. I think it might just be a long video, so sorry. You can skip through it wherever you need help with. Um, this is my drawing so far, and these here are a list of the colors that I'm gonna use. You don't have to use the same colors as me. You can use whatever you have available to you. But I am the main one, so I have indigo blue, dark umber, putty beige, white. I'm gonna do a green based eye, so then I have like olive green, grass green, and jasmine for that. I also have light peach, crimson red, peach, and henna, which is like a purplish red color. If you don't have these exact ones, don't freak out. Just get as close to you as you can. If you only have peach, you only have peach. Normally when I do this, I use a colorless blender, but I'm not going to this time because I figured most of you don't have one. So we're just gonna see how it goes. Okay. So first thing I'm gonna do, unlike the pictures that I posted, is I'm gonna start with the actual the pupil part here. So I'm going to start with indigo blue first, and I'm going to mark off a little section at the top that I want to stay white. And then I'm going to do a light application of indigo blue in my pupil. So for this, I don't use black. Black is, it's not my favorite, and I feel like it makes everything super dull and lifeless. So I'm going to create my own black by mixing indigo blue and dark umber. And I'm going to go back over with indigo blue. Okay, so now that's what I have so far. And then I'm going to work on layering colors for my iris part here. I'm going to start with a grass green because it's going to be my mid-tone color. So basically you're just going to fill in your whole iris part with your base color. So I'm going to go lightly first. Okay. Then I'm going to layer in some jasmine, which is like a more neutral-ish yellow. And put that closer to my pupil area. And then I'm going to add in some darker. So I'm going to use my olive green here. And I'm going to start adding in, just what I have so far. But now I'm going to start adding in the lines. So your design in your eye, it typically radiates out from your pupil. So you need to make sure that you follow that idea and not just draw lines that go straight across. So I'm starting with a light application, and I'm going to eventually get to a harder application. But the more colors and layers we put on here, the more wax is going to build up, so the easier it is going to be to blend your colors. So now I'm going to put a layer of Putty Beige on here so that it kind of burnishes the color a bit more. Meaning like smoothing the color out. Okay, and then I'm going to go back with my colors again, adding in where I want my designs to be. At the top, because your eye casts a shadow, you would add in a bit of dark umber. And I'm not going to do this whole thing because it would take a long time. So I'm going to get as much in that will give you a good idea of what you should be going for. Then I'm going to go back over this with my green. If I want it to be even darker, I could add in a touch of indigo blue and then some more green. So this is what I have so far, and that's what I'm going to stop with to show you the next part. So now I'm going to take white, and I'm going to layer a little bit in my pupil area so that it's not flat, because we don't want our eye to appear flat. So I'm going to layer a little bit to kind of give it a little, detail. And then this part here I've left completely white. I'm going to color white on mine because my paper is tan, so it's going to be a bit different. So now we're going to move to the white of the eye. So the white of the eye is not actually white, so I'm going to layer a layer of cream here first. So then I have that so far. I'm going to define this little edge a little bit more so I can see it. Okay, so now I have the whites of my eye, but now I'm going to start adding in other colors. And I know here we're going to have a shadow, so I'm going to do a little bit of dark umber here. So you can see that. And then I'm going to do what's called burnishing it. So I'm going to take my white and I'm going to press hard over it. And it's going to build up a waxy, like, kind of buttery-ish surface so that more colors will layer. And then I want it to be darker, so I'm going to go back in with my indigo blue. Put some more brown on top of it. I'm going to burnish it again using Putty Beige because the white was too bright for me. So I'm really pressing hard right now, making sure I get this like down into the surface. So I have that at the moment. I want my shadow to come a bit lower, so I would keep working on that. But then when you get your shadow where you want it, I'm going to put in some light peach here to help warm my eye back up so it's not so dark. And I'm going to burnish that again. So you would keep working on that until you get it kind of the way that you want it. You can also use other colors. I've used lighter blue and stuff for the area. It's not always the same. You would do the same thing for the other side with the cream, but you wouldn't use as much brown and blue. You're going to use more light peach or light peach here. My peach to kind of liven it up a bit. Same thing, you would burnish it. Until you get it. I am going to put a little bit of umber, especially on that lid line. I'm always going to go over it so it's not as bright. I'm going to do a little bit of blue. So I have this so far. Okay, now I'm going to work on my little tear duct part. So with that, I am going to put an area of light peach, but I'm going to press pretty hard with it. And then I'm going to put a layer of crimson red. Now when you first put this on, it's going to look pretty bright and kind of odd. A lot of colored pencils do that until you blend the color out. I'm going to take my white and I'm going to blend that, and the white is going to transform it into this softer pink color that blends really nicely with the peach, or light peach. And then I'm going to add a bit more peach on top of it with a bit more of this. So I have this right now, which is a little too pinky. Like I'm going to warm my eye part up here by adding some peach to that and then going back over it with white here to dull that back down. And then to create the shadow of my eyelid here, I'm going to add in a bit of brown. And then white again to burnish it all together. Okay, so that is the eye part. Now, for the skin, it all depends. For your skin tone, it all depends on the colors that you are doing for your person and like what color they are. So, like for my example that I put on canvas, I would continue those colors out. So, for that example here, I put, let me find my picture real quick for you guys. I used a bit different colors than I'm actually using right now in my video, which is okay. You can use multiple colors. There's multiple ways to do things. There's multiple ways to do everything. And there's no one set way, there's no wrong way, there's no right way. It's just whatever way works best for you. You can experiment around and kind of see that. So for the example that I put on canvas though, I used way too many photos. I took a picture of it so I wouldn't forget. Um, Also, if you are using a different colored paper, some of your colors might differ a bit because the color of your paper does affect the color that the colored pencils appear. So for the example that I put on canvas already, I did white, salmon or peach, light peach, cream, rose, poppy red, Tuscan red, and peacock blue. So all of those colors made the eye example. So when you go to do your eye, I typically start with a layer of peach, like the outside. So once you have your like whites of your eyes and everything done, I'm going to do a layer of peach and I'm going to press it fairly hard, not like 100% hard, more of like a 75%. And then I would layer in my other colors depending on where your like creases. So you can see like my crease here, I would put a bit of like a darker brown, so like the burnt umber. Um, or in this case, for the one on example, I did more of like the Tuscan red. And then I would burnish that all together with like my salmon or a light peach. I would probably add a bit of rose like to this area. I know it seems weird, especially with lighter skin tones, but if you actually look closely, they have like a hint of like reddish purple kind of thing. And I'll do that over the line too. Like Tuscan red will turn a bit red. It's like a brownish red color. And then I just kind of layer them to make it appear as close to the skin tone of my person as I can. Um, Sometimes, I mess up and I have to keep going over it and over it and over it. That's okay. It's never gonna be perfect. I typically, though, I do the eyelashes last because you want to make sure, like, when you're burnishing things, that you're not smearing your eyelashes everywhere, which is what would happen if you put them on first. So you want to make sure you do all your buildup, all the colors, get it to look exactly the way you want, and then do the eyelashes. Now, if you're zoomed in on your face, you're going to see more eyelashes. If you're further away, so like here, you can barely see my eyelashes, but if I came in closer, you can see more of them. So it depends on your picture with whether you would put eyelashes or not. So your eyelashes, you typically start in the corner and then work your way out. So you're going to pull the first four out. And keep in mind that hair does grow organically, so meaning it's not just all prim and perfect in a straight line. So if one or two go like a different direction, like a slight different direction or overlap, it's going to look more natural. So that's totally fine. So you'd build up all your color, and then when you get up to the eyebrow, so your eyebrow part, you would have peach and everything layered in there. And then you're going to take the color of their hair, so that's going to be different for everybody. If I was doing myself right now, I would use dark umber, and you're going to start in the corner here, and you're just going to do light lines. It should be more bold as it at the bottom, and then taper as it gets lighter, so they're just like little strokes. So kind of like that, if you can see that. You're not going to fill in the entire area with your color. So your eyebrow should be defined by lines. Now, if I need some of these to appear darker, what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer in, especially on the bottom part, some indigo blue, and it is going to appear blue at first. That's going to happen, but then you go back over it with your dark color or your base color, whatever you're using, and it will get more of a natural appearance. So you would do that for both eyes and both sides. If you need like a better video, just let me know, and excuse me, and I will do my best to make another one for you. It might have to be a time lapse because I feel like that would be a lot easier than recording live, which is what I'm doing right now, the whole thing. But any questions, please feel free to contact me. So, have a great day, guys.